Righto, so back in the shed. I just thought I'd do a bit of a recap on yesterday. We all went to the Gin British Car Day and drove the Cerbera there. No problems, didn't break down. So I just sort of cover where I'm at and what things I need to do. First things first, I've got a fuel leak. That's sort of my number one job for today, Monday morning. Yeah, basically I'll just open the boot. Pretty much when I take a right hand turn, I can still smell it in here. This thing here, it doesn't seal. So when I take a right hand turn, the fuel all sloshes to the left hand side and it weeps out of the fuel filler neck. Yeah, not good. So that's basically my number one priority. Of this rubber hose here is actually new, so I think you can, yeah, you can still smell it. It's basically new, but the thing is, the fuel filler and the tank, the two pipes don't quite line up. So what I really need to do is basically I've got to somehow remove this, which I think is this section here, which I think is being glued to the body, and somehow realign it with the tank. Yeah. So who knows exactly how I'll do that. I'll have to see. I'll take that off, and yeah. But anyway, that's number one priority. I can't have a fuel leak. Second is the brakes squeal. Like, it squeals like an old bus or something. Like it's ear splitting. It's awful. So I think it's mostly coming from the front. So I've got to yeah, get it up on the hoist and look at putting in those. I'm sure I did put in those pads. You know, that they're like a little pad that sits on the end of the piston, and they're supposed to absorb that vibration or something. But yeah, it's it's horrible. The next one, oil and filter. I wouldn't say it's due for an oil change. It's not quite run in yet, but it's got a little bit of a leak from the oil drain, and obviously I can't fix that without changing the oil. So yeah, I'm going to do that. What else? The aircon. If you have a look, because I've adapted basically a Ford Falcon air conditioning compressor, this pipe here, where this hose comes down, it's actually clear. It's clear of the belt when it's not running, but as soon as it starts running, you can see the back of the belt there is where it's been touching, and it's actually worn through the hose just down here. You can't see it, but so what I need to do is get a new hose. Now I'm going to take this sort of aluminium section out here and basically just cut it, re-weld it, sort of probably 20 mil longer, and that should give me the clearance I need. What else? Alternator. I was out driving a couple of days ago, and it actually cut out on me in a petrol station as it was taking off, just shut off. And yeah, long story short, the alternator hasn't got enough grunt to power the power steering all the time, because it's electric power steering. So on the way to the car show yesterday, I basically just had a bit of a brainwave. I thought, well, I don't really need it all the time, so I'll just switch it on if I'm in a tight car park and turn it off when I'm on a main drag. Like the steering's a little heavy, but unless you're doing sharp corners, it's not a problem. So, well, that's what I thought. Then I had another brainwave, and I thought, well, hang on, at some point I may actually want to drive this thing at night with the power steering running, in which case it's like not even close. It's not going to cut it. So being as it's an older Range Rover alternator, there are options there for a higher amp one, but I was talking to a bloke at the show on Sunday, and he actually has owned a couple of Cerberas, and he said he swapped it out for some Japanese brand. So I'm not sure what he said, maybe a Nissan alternator or something, and he said that killed it, heaps of power. So yeah, maybe I just need to swap it for a more modern alternator and adapt something a bit more modern that has more amps, just from the factory, rather than going for some hotted up alternator that may or may not be reliable. And yeah, the last one's the ECU. So it still doesn't run right. If you get past about 50% throttle and it stumbles and carries on. It's a lean condition. I pulled all the plugs, changed the plugs. Every plug was like grey with a little bit of tan, like lean, which is not what I was expecting. I was expecting them all to be sort of black and fouled up, but they were all the same and just lean. So I actually jacked up my fuel pressure. I'm running 60 psi according to my $25 Chinese fuel pressure gauge, which I think is wrong, and that some of that problem's gone away. It is running a lot better, and I adjusted the throttle position sensors. It's now at about 19% at idle, and yeah, it's a lot better, but it's still not right. So I actually called Howtech this morning, and because my concern was, well, can it do a 75-degree V8? Because I think some ECUs can't do that. That they just assume every V8 is 90 degrees. And the bloke said, yep, that's an odd fire engine. Yes, it can do it. So every one of their ECUs can do it. So now I've just got to sort of decide whether I want to spend the big dollars and do sequential or not. So yeah. All right, so first things first, I guess, is fix this fuel leak. All right, so working my way through my list, I've got a few things done. I've done the oil and the filter. The fuel leak, I think I've sort of sealed it. And now I'm onto the brake squeal, so a bit hard to see, but basically I'm going to peel those off. And just looking at this now, I've got these adhesive pads, they're meant to go there. Just looking at it now, these might not actually fit. I've only got 4 of them. Alright, so yeah, basically these are these adhesive pads that you get. They're 3M 468 MP, and they go between the piston and the pad, and they're supposed to stop the squeal. I've had them on the shelf. I don't know why I didn't put them in, but I didn't put them in. So now, what have I got? I think I did them on the back. I must have done them on the back, because there's like there's an open packet here with only one left in it. So, all right, well, that's what I'm going to do now anyway. So, yeah. Righto, so there we go. That's it in a nutshell.
yeah, I didn't need to buy more. I just cut the ones I had in half because they only need to be where the pistons are. So throw these back in. I'll probably have to push the pistons back a little bit, put them on, and then onto the other side. Righto, so I've got my calipers back on. This side over here, the right hand side, I actually sort of, I don't know if you can see that, you probably can't see it, but I've actually rerouted the brake line. I wasn't sort of happy. It kind of did a bit of a loop. It wasn't kinked, but it was, yeah, I wasn't really happy with it, so I moved that, and of course now I have to bleed the brakes, and I use my little vacuum brake bleeder, but yeah, that never quite gets it. So my neighbour who normally helps me out, he's out and about somewhere, Jaguar Joe, so I've decided I'm going to move on to the air conditioning pipe. And in order to get that hose out, I don't know if you can see it there, that's this hose here, I have to take this piece out, and to take that out I need to take the intakes off, and then I have to take the coils off, and to get these off I had to take this panel off. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Alright, so here you can see I've disconnected this line. Here you can see the problem. So what I'm hoping is if I extend this by about 20 mil, I should get this clear of the belt. That's what I'm hoping, and sort of get it, I don't know, maybe I'll need longer than 20 mil. Somewhere out there. Yeah. I think that's what I'll need. Yeah. Save that. I get it. I'll have to run it on the other side of that radiator hose. Alright. That'll be about there. Hope that fits under the engine cover, or the front cover. I guess what I can do is I'll take that piece out, I can just cut it, tack weld it, fit my front cover, make sure it fits, and then fully weld it. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Alright. Off to the aircon shop to get a new hose made. Righto, so I've got a couple of things done. Well, one thing done. I've got my extension here for the air conditioning hose, which is a bit hard to see there, but looks like it's still tight, but that's going to clear. I can actually, it looks like I'll actually have to back that off and just rotate that slightly. But yeah, that's going to clear now. So where am I at otherwise? Well, I'm starting to look further down the path of getting an aftermarket ECU. So I thought, well, first thing I want to do is, well, I want to get some LS coils. So I just went down the local wrecking yard and got these bad boys. I also got this loom, which is a bit busted and it's got a lot of stuff on here that I don't need, but in amongst there somewhere there's the wiring for the coil, so I'll be able to strip all this back, pull out the plugs for the coils which go to here, and basically just, yeah, whichever one of these plugs that goes to, I'll have a coil wiring, and there's also injector wiring there as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to need that, but I'm not 100% sure. I was actually looking at the Haltech, what do you call it, their Rebel LS line, and I'm going to have to call them on Monday and find out, like, because that's basically an ECU with a full wiring harness to suit an LS. But if that ECU is reconfigurable like all their other ECUs, well, basically I can use that loom, well, start with that loom, modify, shorten what needs to be shortened, lengthen what needs to be lengthened, run LS style sensors, you know, like fuel pressure, water temperature, intake temperature. I'll have to do something with throttle position sensor because they're drive-by-wire, but it looks like that might be a good deal, but I haven't called them yet. So yeah, right now I'm just sort of about to have a bit of a break from the Cerbera. I've got to fix my electric skateboard. The bushings here are flogged out, so I hate having vehicles sitting around that are just shed ornaments that don't work. Looking at you. Yeah, so I'm going to knock that on the head, and then I'll go back to work in a few days. I'm broke as a joke right now because I've had some work done in the backyard. Yeah, I had that built, and now I'm getting a deck, and here's another project. So I can't afford to throw down a few grand on an ECU at the moment, so wait till next pay then. But in the meantime, I'm collecting small bits. I'm actually looking at the injectors, and this are what's called an EV1 style injector, which are like a short, well, they're like a fat thing with a big coil in them. As technology progressed, they end up going to the EV6. I don't know why I went from EV1 to EV6, but there you go. Which is what basically all the early LS used. So, and they're stacked 10 high at the wreckers around here. So I think if I can get a set of them to suit like a 6 litre, the early 6 litre LS, they should, I think, they might fit in place. They seem to be the same length as the standard injectors, but I can use them. I should be able to use them and be able to run E85. That's my sort of my thought pattern at the moment. Don't quote me, don't go telling your mates this is what you can do, but that's my sort of thought pattern at the moment, is use like a 6 litre LS injectors, and that'll be enough fuel flow for E85 on this thing. And they've got plugs that should plug into either that loom or, well, they've got plugs that are easily available. So that's sort of where my head is at the moment. But yeah, for now, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to fix my skateboard, and I'll see you all in the next video.